Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Jenna Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. What the holistic human performance community has turned into is something beyond words. I am so grateful for each and every single one of you. And I wanted to talk about what the community is all about. And really, it just started with me going through a really low time in life, where I did not have my health as a 2-time cancer survivor. And I really leaned into holistic health, that lifestyle, changing everything about it. Really taking a deep dive into energy medicine and spirituality and combining all of these different aspects of mind, body, and soul together that helped me heal on a deep level. And now I am following out my soul's mission and purpose and bringing this to you all. And so I want to invite you inside of the holistic human performance community. We have an app, which is the HHP app on Apple and Google Play, which you can also get all of these goodies on the desktop as well. And really what you're going to find inside of this community, I call it the Virtual Wellness Center. It's going to be all about holistic health, spirituality, energetics, all different practices, tools, modalities. So we have things like sound bath meditations, we have breath work, we have tapping series, we have workouts, we have somatic healing, we have masterclass series, we have programs. I have other professionals come on inside of the app to teach. So there's so many cool things you get inside of this community. And so I wanted to give this to you all as a membership. And what you're getting is a monthly membership where you have 300 plus on-demand videos, plus live stream classes and programs and courses. You're literally getting all of these incredible tools to take with you wherever, whenever you need. And so for $33 per month, you get access to this. Or you can do annual, which is $320 for the year. You're getting all of this inside of the Holistic Human Performance Virtual Wellness Center. And not only that, you could try it out for 1 week free and cancel whenever you want. So these are things that are going to help reprogram your subconscious mind, you regulate your nervous system, keep you healthy and navigating life with full life force energy, and really helping you to express yourself authentically while also enhancing your health and your well-being so that you can find and follow your soul's mission and purpose. So I invite you inside of this community. It is so beautiful and juicy. And not to mention, we have a whole section inside of the app where it is a community forum so we can chat with each other and talk about our wins, what we're going through, and so much more. And I don't know if I mentioned, if you are a one-on-one coaching client, you get full access to the entire Virtual Wellness Center membership. So I invite you inside of the HHP community. Again, you can get your week free trial on Apple or Google Play or right on your desktop at holistichumanperformance.co. Hello and welcome to the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Bradshaw Vitale, and today we are going to be really diving into this timeline shift that's happening right before our eyes and the identity of yourself that once was, that can no longer go into this next chapter with you. That is the theme, that is the pattern, that is the energy I am seeing collectively with clients and students and followers and members and all the things. And we need to be equipped with the tools that help us to let that old identity go and just move forward. So many of us get so addicted to the past because and then we think that because it happened in the past, it's going to happen in the future, and we fearmonger. And that is extra energy. That's like an energetic loop that's just open in the background, subconsciously on replay. And it is literally wasting you so much energy. And when you can step into a new mindset, open your mindset up to know that there is a different reality that you can be living that's much better than where you're currently at and where you have been. That's possible. That's a timeline that's existing, that's out there. However, it's going to require you to release the old identity, the old version of you. And so, what I wanted to create, because this is like this is the most challenging part for people to understand. And some of my clients, this takes years for them to work through. But think about how long you have been living a life where, your 5-year-old self has been like running the show basically, or your 15-year-old self has been running the show, because we just suppress these emotions, we suppress the memories, and we hold on to because it's like becomes familiar. And then when it's like life throws you a curveball and you're being asked to drop that fucking shit, it's like rocking your world. So we want to get to a point where you're okay with change. And trust me, I've been there. It still comes up, right? Releasing control and just fully embracing and stepping into a new reality that you're completely unfamiliar with. You know what I can relate this to? Sports and being an athlete, because you go into like a tryout and you are shaking in your boots sometimes. You got it, but like there's still that excitement but nervousness energy, and you don't know where that tryout could take you, right? You could make the team, you could not make the team, and then it's like, now what? And so we need to have the tools that we're equipped with. Do you think Olympic level athletes do not have the tools to help them? No, because that's why they got to the Olympics. That's what got them through. So what I wanted to create, because I've been seeing this so much as a theme, is a challenge for you all. It's called Rewire Your Reality Challenge. It is 5 days of step-by-step bringing you through unwiring those subconscious belief systems and then rewiring to step into this new identity of you. So what we're going to do is I'll kind of briefly go over each of the days. Day 1 is awareness, right? You can't change what you can't see. So that is why having a team, working with other people who are expanders for you, who have, who walk the walk, right? Walk the walk, talk the talk. We have blind spots, and sometimes we cannot see those blind spots. And so we need somebody to point that out for us. And they'll be able to see it because we like to get in our own way, right? Because of all the stories that are attached to it. And we need other people to be like calling us out on our shit, because that's what helps us change. When that happens, right, we can then view the perspective of where we're at differently, and then we can take action according to what we're being confronted with, we'll say. Old stories, old beliefs, old emotional patterns that live in the body. That's why we're so deeply ingrained into somatics, which is the body. is because the body is way more wise than the mind. We live in our mind. And so when we start to connect back to the body and we allow these emotional waves to just flow, we have to make time and space to feel things, right? Otherwise, we're numb and we're cut off to the spectrum of human emotion. That's like a part of life. And we have to, like, we're not here to just go numb. We're not here to be unbothered and nothing bothers us. No, like, we're human. We're going to feel a spectrum of emotions. It's when we allow the emotions to take hold of us. That's what we need to have the container to hold space for those emotions, right? And so your subconscious learned this from age 0 to 7, and we're absorbing everything like sponges. That is when the subconscious is forming. Those are the formative years. And what ends up happening is when we grow up in a chaotic household, or we go through big T, little t trauma, whatever it may be, those patterns can sometimes repeat themselves if we don't, get the help we need. But again, you don't know what you don't know, and now you know, and now you could do better. So now we go into day 2. We regulate the nervous system, because the subconscious mindset is what triggers a nervous system response, which is the antenna to the visible and the invisible, right? It's how we read subtle energies. And you cannot build a new identity from a body that feels unsafe. That's where the body comes in. And I think the misconception that most people, because there's this like overwhelming information on this, people think that you're like calm all the time when you're working on your nervous system or regulating your nervous system. That's not what that means. It means you're just able to be grounded in moments that shake your world, or like have those emotional tidal waves come up, and your body still knows that it's not going to die, kind of thing. And you can think positively all you want. That is definitely a piece of the puzzle. However, when things start to spiral and become repeating patterns, that's where you got to go to the body and really speak to the body. And so that's day 2. We're going to be regulating the nervous system. We're going to tap into the body. Day 3, we're going to release the old identities. We're going to let it go. This is the hardest part because you're so attached to who you used to be and the identity that has got you to this point. And now you have to sit back and say, this is no longer serving me, but who am I without that, right? And so we're rediscovering who you are without all the shit, without all the noise. That is where we also engage with the body and let it know that it's safe. And so these are through somatic practices I'll be bringing you through, right? Who are you without overworking, proving your worth, the good girl, the labels and titles we give ourselves. Who actually are we? And then we're going to go into day 4, and it's all about becoming the higher self. Your higher self is the most radiant version of yourself that you've evolved into, right? That's like the potentiality. And your higher self is a part of your spirit team, always guiding you along the way. We just forget that the higher self is there, and the higher self is like part of the cheat code of like your direct line. It's like ring, 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 higher self, hello, can you help me please? You will get so much insight from connecting to your higher self, and it will give you clarity as to where you're headed on your path, and the reminding yourself, like remembering the self, the soulful self of who you are, and integrating these lessons, grounding it into the body, grounding it into the 3D. And it also elevates your intuitive gifts and abilities. When you do this, you become more of a clear channel. Think of all of these things, right? Since your nervous system is an antenna, think of like all the things that interfere with that connection, right? the limiting beliefs, the old stories, the old memories, the baggage and garbage emotions and relationships that we've been holding on to that are just in the way of that channel. And when you are more, you don't have to be doing what I'm doing, right, intuitively, but your intuition is your compass. That is your compass in life. And so you need to connect to that in order to be the most elevated, healthiest, happiest, aligned version of yourself. Then we're going to go into day 5, integration, because nothing matters unless we integrate it. Knowledge is power to a point. It's the integration piece. It's doing these things to help you get to a place where you think to yourself, wow, I can actually see myself living a life that is just so different from what I'm doing right now. I can actually listen to my heart's desires. I can sit with myself in stillness without like having to be busy and doing things. Like I can sit with my emotions, right? So you're now living through a new timeline. That timeline already exists. We live in this quantum field, and think of like a grid, and all of these different lines in the grid are different timelines and realities of your potentiality based on what you're currently doing in the present moment. And that's creating like a new timeline. So all these timelines are existing. And so when we integrate and we do the inner work and we do our healing work, new timelines evolve, and that timeline already exists, and you need to tap into that timeline to access that higher version of you. And it's all about holding the frequency. When we work on the nervous system, we are expanding the capacity to what you can hold. And if you're holding on to garbage from ancestral lineage, from past lives, from this lifetime, how could you possibly call in more? How could you call in new? Because you have to get rid of the old. It's just like cleaning out the closet. It looks like a mess and a catastrophe as you're doing it, but then once you get rid of it and you organize, it's like fresh energy. That's exactly what's happening with your nervous system, with your subconscious mindset, to access that timeline of, that potentiality, that identity that you're looking to integrate and hold, right? What happens is, along this timeline, and when you're going through this work, is when you don't continue to do the work, that's when you slip back into the old paradigm, because you can't hold it, because you haven't continued to manage and maintain and create a nervous system that can hold that new life and that new identity. And so that is the work that needs to be done in order. Think about waking up with energy. Think about waking up and feeling excited to do what you love, to have freedom of time, of money, of resources, of love, of relationships. Like, you get to live a life that you desire, of your dreams. It's all about what you want. And if you don't know what you want because you're so bogged down from the old shit, this is the work that needs to be done. And so I invite you to join us. It's a free challenge. We start July 20th. The Rewire Your Reality Challenge, 5 days to access your higher self. You're going to get emails each day with journal prompts and pre-recorded videos of different meditations and tools and somatic, subconscious reprogramming meditations and things of that nature. And it's going to help you become clear and aligned with the direction that you want your life to go in, and actually be happy and hopeful and feeling like, wow, I get to feel good. I get to do these things. And so I invite you to join us. I will put all of the information in the show notes. If you have any questions about, working with us one-on-one, mentorship, coaching, healings, we have the app as well. Please reach out. If you want to do like a free 15-minute discovery call
we can chat. I love to help guide people. And so I'll leave those in the description box if you would like to work together. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.